Today we are talking about the Pittsburgh Penguins and getting into an update that I never thought in a million years was going to be possible for this team during this season. Because the entire time we've been making Pittsburgh Penguins update videos throughout the summer, it's always been about trades. Crosby trade updates, Rakell trade updates, Russ trade updates, trade updates, and you kind of know the format of stuff that I do here on this YouTube channel where whenever an analyst talks about a trade idea, that's when we come in and we make our video talking about it so we can get the conversation going in the comments section about this stuff too. Essentially, Sidney Crosby and Penguins trade talk dominated the summer because Elliotte Friedman and other analysts and folks like that, they were going out there and saying, consistently, Pittsburgh is the only true seller, quote-unquote, this summer. And because of that, they're setting the market price for what it is their forwards are going for. They can demand whatever they want for Rakell because there aren't any comparables on the market that are available. They set the price. They dictate how things go. And because of that, Kyle Dubas, hey, we saw what he did in Toronto in 2015. He rebuilt. He grabbed all these picks. He got all these young guys. And that's what he wanted to do here for the Pittsburgh Penguins in 2025. Which is why the entire summer was just talking about Rust, Carlson, Malkin maybe, Letang maybe, Crosby maybe. Lots of guys on the trade block. And nothing actually happened. Erik Karlsson is still a Penguin, so is Letang, and all those other guys we mentioned. Ben Kindel, first-round pick from this year's draft, is also a Penguin. But the difference is, the team isn't doing as poorly as, quote-unquote, the only seller in the NHL would be expected to do. Nah. They're not near the bottom. They're not a bottom feeder. They're not eagerly selling away players like Chicago and Lucas Reichel. No. The Pittsburgh Penguins, they're third in the NHL. And that is absolutely outstanding when you look at the core of guys who have come out here and started producing, started the year off hot, and have totally shoved that middle finger into all of our faces. Ladies and gentlemen, Sidney Crosby recently eclipsed 1,700 points. He's amazing. Sid the Kid is on top of the planet. He's on pace for 114 points. He's got 14 points in 10 games right now. That's solid. But you know who else is old and also productive this season? It's freaking Evgeni Malkin. Evgeni Malkin had 5 points in the first 2 games of the year. And I remember this because the guy that I was playing in fantasy for week 1 had Malkin, and I was getting choked. I was like, wait a minute, why is Malkin the #1 point scorer in the NHL to open up the season? And ever since then, Malkin has only gone pointless in 1 game. He's got 2, 4, 6 points in his last 3 games. He's had a point in every other game except for 1, and he's at a total of 16 points in 10 games on the season. Evgeni Malkin is on pace to nearly tripling the point production he had last season. Last year he had 50 points in 68 games. This year he's got 16 and 10, on pace for 25 goals and 107 assists. He's on pace for 132 points. That's ridiculous. And it's not even just Malkin and Crosby going out there and doing some amazing work to open up the season. No. There's some other underrated, undervalued surprise pickups for the Penguins that have been doing amazingly well too. You know who else is a point per game on the Pens? Justin Brazeau! And I had to do a double, triple, quadruple take whenever I would see Brazeau's name pop up on the score sheet, so much to the point that I was like, I gotta get this guy in fantasy. Both of my main leagues that I focus on the most, I picked up Justin Brazeau in free agency because I was like, it can't be worse than Zach Bolduc at this point. Zach Bolduc's not getting any power play time anymore. Okay, that's a lie. I actually dropped Matt Duchene because he was hurt and I didn't have any IR spots, and I picked up Brazeau at that point in one of my leagues, but he's been so good in general. Justin Brazeau is getting about 12 minutes of ice time a night, but he's going out there as one of the most underrated and low-key players alongside of Evgeni Malkin and Anthony Mantha. By the way, Mantha is just under a point per game right now, too. They've moved things around on the power play, so now you have actually Ben Kindel alongside of Rust, Carlson, Crosby, and Malkin. So, hey, Ben Kindel was like, what, 1 year old when Evgeni Malkin was drafted into the NHL? He was 2 when Crosby was drafted? Something like that? Say what you want about him being a third-line center, but hey, he's getting a chance to be on a power play with some legends. Legends that are refusing to go away into the shadow of the night without any points. Evgeni Malkin is tied for first in the league in points right now with Nick Schmaltz and Jack Eichel. How could you have ever predicted that? Sidney Crosby is near the top of the NHL in points. What is it, 2008? Nah, bro, it's 2025. And now, you're taking a look at stats like this. Bob Grove went out there and said the last time the Penguins were 7-2-1 to start their season, it was 2016-2017. They've gone out there and literally replicated the success that they had in a year where they won the Stanley Cup. And might I remind you, those 2016, 17, those teams in Pittsburgh were amazing. Like, top of the line, you had such good superstardom at the top. You had Phil Kessel, Nick Bonino, the HBK, sexy boy Shawn Michaels line going out there doing their thing. And then on defense, everybody was just solid. Brian Dumoulin, shout out to that guy. Shout out to Ron Hainsey for going out there and doing what he needed to do to allow that Pittsburgh Penguins team to beat Nashville and beat San Jose in the playoffs as well, to win the Stanley Cup back-to-back years. I mean, we knew there was this sort of dynasty label with how the Kings and the Blackhawks were consistently making finals and winning, but Pittsburgh was the team that started the back-to-back thing. Back-to-backs became cool because of Pittsburgh doing it in 16 and 17, but you inevitably saw the back-to-back becoming more of a feature in the next few years. The NHL scriptwriters just got lazy, started reusing the same thing. Hey, let's put Tampa Bay in the finals 3 years in a row. Hey, let's put Florida in the finals 2 years in a row. But at the end of the day, the Pittsburgh Penguins have been doing such amazing work. It is incredibly difficult to have imagined this at any point. If you had placed any bets on this, I wonder how much money it would have won. Pittsburgh Penguins, top 3 team in the NHL, 10% of the way through the year? Who would have expected Evgeni Malkin to have 16 points in 10 games? It's not 2008 again, is it? Justin Brazeau is looking like a free agent signing for the ages with how productive he has been, and it's only going to get better from here on out as the Penguins continue to do their thing. Mantha and Brazeau. That's all that Malkin needed to get going one more time. If you enjoyed this video, feel free to hit the like button. If you didn't, the dislike button is down there for you as well. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. How well do you think the Pittsburgh Penguins are going to do heading into the next few weeks? Are they going to be able to keep this up? Is this a sustainable thing for them and their systems? Or was this just a really good start that is going to inevitably fade away? And we're going to see that the Penguins really are just that bad. A team that was destined to being one of the only sellers in the league. I don't know at this point, man. Honestly, like, if they continue to play this well, there's no way Sidney Crosby decides to leave. Absolutely no way. That was all contingent on them being bad, but no, they're not doing that anymore, so yeah. Let me know in the comment section what you think. I hope you enjoyed this video. And bye.